Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. I was doing this because Mark said if I didn't move around much, he could do the camera this way. So anyway, today, it's the daily. Um, what day is today? Today's Saturday, the 18th.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So what did we do today? We did a bunch of stuff. We got up this morning and we had rice pudding, which Naomi had made yesterday. And it was a recipe that I had found that you use leftover rice because my kids have been mentioning wanting rice with raisins is what they call it. I don't know. Growing up, when we had leftover rice, my mom would always take the rice, put a little milk on it, and sugar and cinnamon. And she would eat it that way. And my sister would eat it. And my dad and I were both grossed out by that. We thought it was disgusting. Well, Mark used to do it when he was a kid, except he did rice and raisins and milk.
Yeah.
Rice and raisins and milk. Did you put sugar on it?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
I put sugar on everything.
And so Mark had that when he was a kid, and he really liked that. Did you guys all eat it, or was it just like some people in your family?
I think probably all of us. I don't know.
He doesn't remember anything. Some people in his family ate that, but Mark really liked that. And so we've occasionally done that. I mean, like 5 times in the lives of the children have we done that. It's not something we do often, but someone was talking about it the other day. So I found a recipe for rice pudding that uses leftover rice. You mix eggs and milk with it and put it in the oven. So we did that this morning along with some raisins on one side because Abigail doesn't like raisins. But then Abigail decided she didn't like the rice pudding either. So some people had rice pudding. Some people had eggs. Yeah.
Is there still rice out there?
Well, there's more rice because they're making rice pudding. So the church we're going to right now does breakfast every Sunday, or most Sundays. And so we're making rice pudding for tomorrow. But yes, there's some rice out there you can have when we're done with this.
With raisins and milk.
You can
Warm.
do that. Yeah.
Oh, me likey.
Okay, so anyway, we did that. I cooked up some burger and peppers and onions that needed to be cooked up so we could use it for meals today. I took a shower. Mark took a shower. Just if you want to know when we all take showers. We did that this morning while we were in the midst of doing all this other stuff. Went to the dump. Very exciting things going on here. And then we went to a Revolutionary War reenactment. So a town near us, maybe 20... Encampment. A Revolutionary War encampment. It wasn't a reenactment. They didn't actually do like a shooting scrimmage,
Yeah.
however they say it. Anyway, so there were some people there. So there was a person who had a map and was telling you what the area was like in Revolutionary War time. If you want to know anything about Maine during Revolutionary War time, we weren't Maine, we were Massachusetts. And the British had come and taken over a town, multiple towns, and Camden, which is the town we went to that the encampment was trying to block British troops from getting to Thomaston, which was their big stronghold. I don't know why Josiah's sitting up, So anyway, they were trying to keep the British from coming from this town, Castine, they're trying to figure out what's going on, to get to Thomaston, which was the bigger place to get to, which is the town we live in. So the place that they do this encampment is on the site of an actual original property where they probably would have stayed that has a house that dates back to that original time. So that was cool. So anyway, we went last year. They did it all through the summer months into the fall, and we went for every encampment last year except for the last one because somebody was born the week before the last one happened. So it was fun going back today because they all remembered us. And talked to the kids. So they had the guy who had the map and was telling you where the troops were at the time. They had a lady pretending to be a doctor from that time period telling you about all the different elixirs and how they would bleed people and all of that. We did not talk to her today. We've talked to her in the past. We just ran out of time today. They had a place set up where they had games that you could play, games from that time period. And one of the reenactors' boys, or his twins, were there showing people how to play games. There was a soldier cook who was cooking over a campfire. He wasn't very talkative, but he was making...
I think he's new to the gig.
Yeah, I think he was trying to figure out what was going on. And we were like some of the first people there. So then the guy who last year showed a Revolutionary War soldier this year had done some research, and he was playing the part of an 1812, like the War of 1812 soldier. Because the War of 1812, the British again took over the same cities they had taken over in the Revolutionary War here in Maine. He was saying that it was kind of like a sequel to the Revolutionary War, happened 30 years later. So anyway, it was really interesting. By the time all of that happened, hold on a second. Josiah, you okay? Okay. Yeah. By the time all of that happened, between the Revolutionary War to his war, we noticed some things. They were not wearing the knickers and socks anymore. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, pants. They were wearing regular pants. They had these. He was wearing a jacket for the 1812 that was like a fringe on it. Looked very dapper, and he was wearing a top hat because they wore top hats instead of their like tri-corner hats. So it was just kind of funny. You don't think of that. You can open that in the background. It's just funny that because you don't think of soldiers in top hats, but he was showing us how things had changed, and it was neat. And then we were talking with him about how things have changed over the past couple years, where now things are hard to get. At this time, the town that we were in started in the Revolutionary War. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. As 300 people. By the War of 1812, there were 3,000 people. And then the British came and closed down the waterways again, which would have closed down most of their shipments. And we were just saying how now, up until a couple years ago, living in our country, you never would have thought, oh, I can't get the things I'm looking for. My brother, his vehicle transmission went a couple months ago, and they're so back ordered that he can't get a new part for his car and ended up having to go get a new car. You hear of people who ordered a refrigerator that 6 months ago that they still haven't received. Or like going to the store and not being able to find meat. If you would have asked 3 years ago, people, if they would have ever had these problems, we would have been like, no, we live in America. We're rich. We can get whatever we want, whenever we want it. And we've come to find out that that's not really how things work anymore right now. So anyway, that was interesting. He also shot off I think he had a musket. I don't remember. I didn't listen to much of the gun talk.
It was shotgun.
It was gun. He had a shotgun. He was shooting something, making loud noises. But the kids had fun watching him because there's usually 2 other guys there that do the shooting, and they weren't there today. And then they had the house open, and the lady who last year cooked out on the open fire was cooking on the hearth inside, and that was neat. And we had crumpets with strawberry rhubarb jam, so that was fun. We recently made strawberry rhubarb jam because we have a rhubarb plant now. My sister didn't want the rhubarb plant anymore, and so we transplanted it last year and have been enjoying rhubarb this year. So if you don't know what rhubarb is, because we found out this isn't something that everyone has, it is a plant that looks like another plant that's poisonous, so make sure you're eating the right plant. But it has long red stems that kind of resemble celery. They've got like strings on them. Leaves are poisonous, but you can eat the red stalk. And you cook it down, and it's very sour. And Mark does not have he can't picture things. Like if you told Mark to close his eyes and picture a green apple and picture a caterpillar on the apple, he can't picture that. But if you mention rhubarb to him, he makes faces because he remembers the sour taste from when he was a kid. So some people take the rhubarb and just eat it how it is. That's how my kids like it. They like really sour things. Or you take it and you dip it in sugar.
Yep.
And then eat it. That's how Mark ate it. Yep. So, I don't know. That's what Mark did. I never ate.
It's like strawberry rhubarb with a lot of sugar.
Yeah, I never ate rhubarb by itself as a kid. We didn't have a rhubarb plant at our house, but I knew people who made like strawberry rhubarb pie. Janine Chase made really good strawberry rhubarb pie. Okay, go ahead.
Mom.
What about Mom? Oh, here, hold on.
Yes. Mom, did we used to make something like rhubarb sauce? Like, not strawberry rhubarb, but like just rhubarb sauce, like just cook it down. But did we do that? Answer in the comments or just message me. It's me.
Hold on. Turn it around.
What?
Mark's mom watches all of our videos.
Hi, Mom.
And so she...
So she wants to see me.
Yeah, she does. See, that's your son. That's your son. He loves you, Mom.
Hey, tomorrow's Father's Day.
You're talking to your mom.
Mom.
You can talk to your dad. We'll tell Daddy he has
It's
to
for
watch
me. It's my holiday. I get one.
We'll tell Daddy he has to watch it.
It's my holiday, and we're gonna turn the camera back to the
Okay,
person who
so
gets
anyway,
the
so we had fun doing all of that. Oh, and the barn was open today, which it hadn't been the last couple times we've been there. So they had like all kinds of old farm equipment, stuff like that. So that was neat. So we went to that. On our way home, we had lunch, which, hold on, Mark, I'll tell you what we had for lunch. Turn. He doesn't want me to turn it. So Virginia made bread for lunch, and it came out really good. Mark's been talking about the bread all day. It's kind of funny. It's like he's never eaten bread before.
It was the best bread ever.
Mark has just been talking about it all day. It's really funny because it's the same recipe we use a lot. And so I don't know what tasted so good about it or why it came out so good today, but it was just kind of funny. So anyway,
It was good.
so we had lunch on the way home. When we got home, I laid Malachi down for a nap. We went walking and talking and just playing outside. And then it rained. And we went back outside. We've had a lot of just like, it rains for a little bit and then stops. Josiah did his crawling today. We did other stuff, but I don't remember all the other stuff we did. Oh, and then we had 2 dinners tonight. So we ate dinner at 3. So today's Saturday, and we wanted to get ready for Sunday because we tried to do our meal prep on Saturday. But we also wanted to go to the Revolutionary War reenactment, and we wanted to go out and do evangelism tonight. So we were trying to fit everything in. And I have children that are always hungry, and so I had to figure out what to feed them. So today for lunch, we cooked up the burger that I cooked this morning. We ended up cooking it with sauce and peppers and onions, and we made like a really hearty spaghetti sauce that we ate on top of broccoli, because if you know, our family's diet has changed a little bit because of Josiah, so there's certain things we just avoid eating now because he can't eat them. So we had this sauce on top of broccoli. That was our first supper. That was at 3:00. Then we left here and we went into town. Oh, hold on, going back to the Revolutionary War thing. So the Camden, where that was, it's at the Historical Society, and they've decided that they're going to do a camp where you can learn some of these skills that were taught at this thing. And so I thought that was really cool, except the camp is $200 per kid. And I'm not saying this because I want anyone to hand us money so I can send my kids to camp. Why I'm saying this is because I was thinking, if you were to send, like Abigail, she's 7. So if I was to send her to this camp, she'd go and she'd learn some stuff. But she wouldn't be able to really teach me everything that she had learned. And so I'd have to go, like, if she really liked learning how to make bread and I didn't know how to make bread, I'd have to go, like, research it and study it so that her and I could do bread at home. And what I was thinking is, if you took that $200 and as a family, even a large family like us, you put it to purchasing things so that your family could learn those skills together. So let's say...
Also buy a nice mixer.
Yeah. So let's say you wanted to buy some cast iron, or you wanted to buy some stones to make a fireplace, a fire pit outside like we did last week. If you used the $200 and you bought the materials you needed, and then you YouTube, because you can YouTube pretty much anything. I mean, you can't YouTube how to get like your diploma to be a doctor, but you can YouTube how to make simple bread. You can YouTube how to make pancakes. You can YouTube how to change the oil on your car. You can YouTube all those things. So I was just thinking that with the price of camps going up so much, that if you took that money and you used it to see, like, the thing that you're sending your child to camp because you want them to learn more, and you actually learned it as a family, you'd then have a skill that you could pass on to other people.
Or even just a shared experience.
Or a shared experience.
Bungee jumping or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if your kid wanted to go to camp to, like, learn the ropes course, instead you take a day and go as a family to a ropes course. It'd probably cost about the same as going to overnight camp for the whole week, and you'd have shared experience. It'd be fun.
Build one.
Or build a ropes course. You could buy those ninja ones online. I haven't told Mark about those. He probably won't know the kids. You can get these ninja ropes course things that you put between 2 trees. And so then it's got, like, different things to hold on to and ropes to climb and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I'll have to show you. Okay,
Well,
so
we'll
anyway,
have to have a discussion
back to
about
this video.
that later.
Back to this video. So we went, Josiah, lay down. Okay. So we went and did evangelism tonight. It was very loud out on the street. Very loud. They had some bands set up, and we couldn't go to some of the, like, little setups that were around there because it was so loud. We just had to, like, walk through the section where the band was.
Like seizure inducing for the poor kid with a seizure.
Yes. Like we had to move from the one spot because he was having seizures. And that one was really weird music. It was like and I don't know. Whoever was doing that music sounded like they were on drugs or
How'd
something.
that go again?
It was like just synthesized sounds. There was
Yeah.
no like singing, and
Yeah.
it was like I don't care that they're singing, but it didn't really. Okay, so
I think it was some sort of psychological warfare.
have you ever seen modern art where like someone took a canvas and hooked it to the wall and they just kind of threw some paint at it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the music reminded me of. It was like, is this like modern music? Like it doesn't really seem to have anything except that it has noise.
Well, you don't know anything about music, do you?
I know nothing about music, I guess. It was really annoying. I'm glad that I didn't have to stand there at that side of the street. Then we walked down the street, and these people that were really loud may have been good, but they were too loud that I couldn't hear them because I was just trying to cover my ears so that I wouldn't hear them because it was so loud. They might have been good. I don't know.
Everything else was awesome, though.
There was some really awesome stuff. I'm going to say the things that were really kind of weird. So then there was a guy on stilts dressed like a tree, and these women that were dressed like fairies or something dancing around him. That was really weird. That was strange. So this is our local summer solstice event, and we have talked to our kids about what summer solstice is and why we don't worship the sun and nature and those types of things. But our area doesn't have a lot of times when people, like there's a congregation of people. So we went out because there were a congregation of people and we handed out tracts. There was also harps. There's a local guy and his kids who play harps. So we heard them, but we didn't stay near their section very long because there was some other craziness going on there. Then there was also, if anyone knows, it's June and it's Pride Month. So there were a lot of rainbows, but they weren't God's rainbows. Like God made the rainbow as a covenant.
Planned Parenthood rainbow frisbees.
Yeah, I don't know where those were coming
Maine Family
from.
Plan,
I wish
sorry.
I knew where those ones were coming from because I would have gone and talked to them. But there were rainbows everywhere, but they took our rainbow, so that's not very nice of them because God's rainbow was a covenant between him and Abraham. Noah.
Noah. It's getting late.
Him and Noah, that God was never going to flood the earth again after he wiped out the wickedness that had happened on the earth. And so that was like a promise from God that they've now taken to do things exactly against what God would have people to do. So they stole it. I don't like when people steal things. That's not very nice. So there was a couple of those that we just walked right past because we didn't want to. They were also the ones that were geared towards the children. Mm-hmm. So they were trying to get the children to come in so they could give them all these rainbow things. So we walked past those ones and gave the gospel across the street. Like how it was set up, it's just one main street. They closed the whole street down. So it's 2 traffic lanes. And then...
You're going to use your hands that far out of the...
2 traffic lanes. Yep. And then sidewalks on either side with stores. And it's all one way. But they closed it off. So they'd have like a booth here and a booth here and a booth here and a booth here. Well, the kids section started, there was like an empty spot, and then the kids section started with the booths, and we stood right across the street, so kind of behind this booth and across the street from this booth, and we handed out tracts. That's what we did for a while. Then the things we really liked was one of the places had bubble machines and bubbles, and the kids could blow, and the kids had a lot of fun with the bubbles. That was really cool. Then we went and met the Coast Guard guys who gave the kids coloring books and little wrist bracelets and things, and then let them climb up on the Coast Guard boat, which it was like parked, so it was a little rescue boat. So that was fun. The kids got to go up there and enjoy that. We walked around some fire trucks, and then we talked to one guy, and Josiah told him that Josiah said, "My grandpa was a firefighter." And the guy was like, "Who is your grandpa?" And he said, "Dan Allen." And the guy was like, your grandpa was a great guy. We started EMS school together, and when he was a dispatcher, he used to talk to me on the radio, and it was just really neat for Josiah to be able to hear that guy knew my dad. And when I came home, I mentioned to Mom that this guy knew my dad, and all I knew was his last name was Gibbs. And my mom was like, "Oh, Rodney Gibbs and his wife Stephanie." So if you guys are watching, hi. It was really nice to talk to him. It was just fun to meet somebody who knew my dad. And so it's been almost 8 years since my dad passed away. So we talk about him all the time. Even today, we were saying that my dad would have really liked someone we met at the encampment. So that was cool. We just talk about him regularly. So to find someone who knew him was cool. And then, so we liked that. What were the other things that we liked that were there? There was chalk for the kids to draw on the sidewalk. They liked that. And then we ran into some people we knew, we've met. We ran into one family from Waterville that had kids with Bible names. They heard us saying our Bible names. And they had a Naomi and a Gideon. And then, so we were just talking Bible names. So that was fun. And we told them that our daughter was passing out tracts down the street. And so they went and they were like, Virginia, right? Mark ran into an old coworker. We ran into two people who are running for office. So our local, what was he? Senator? Miramant?
Yes.
State senator. He's not, he has done 4 terms, so his term limit is up, so he will not be back.
Praise the Lord.
Yes. So there are some things we agreed with him on, like medical freedom.
But that
was the only thing, I think. He was very much Democrat. And so there's people running, and one of the guys who's running was Thielander. Was that his name? He goes to a local church, and he was pro-choice. I think he's
pro-life.
Okay. Sorry.
Not pro-choice.
Sorry. She started checking on him, and I was trying to...
Choice.
Yes. He was very much freedom for education, freedom, like medical freedom, pro-life. He wanted families to have choices on the decisions they made for their children, except for killing them. That was the choice he doesn't allow them to make. So anyway, it was interesting to talk to him. We're going to have to look up his name more, but his name was Thielander. Yeah. Thelandder. So if you want to check out somebody who might be on the ballot, or who is on the ballot, but I don't know much about him, but I'm just saying. I don't know other names.
Shelley Pingree.
Yes, running against Shelley Pingree.
Someone to run against her.
Yeah. So anyway, Dave Mearmant has been in office, but he's gonna be gone.
Bye, Dave.
And we realized today that we may have met Dave Mearmant down in Key West 12 years ago. Mark had Facebook memories come up that he met a man from Camden whose license plate said senator.
Yeah, had a Maine plate that said senator. He was from Camden, but he was in Key West, which is where we were living.
So we're just wondering if we met him a long time ago. Josiah, you okay? No, he needs help. So anyway, Daddy's got him. He's okay. He's just needs some help. And then, so we went to that, and it was just very loud. But we also got to see my sister and my brother and their families. And we saw Troy, who is the local parking officer. He was helping with parking and stuff at the thing. So we got to see him, and it was good. It was nice to be able... Virginia had some good talks. Naomi had some good talks. Virginia talked to someone who said they were Scientologist. Virginia talked to someone who said they were Unitarian Universalist. There were some interesting conversations, but it was good. Then we saw my friend's dad, who rebuilt a truck, like some really nice truck. It was funny because we were like, hey, look at that really nice truck. And we got out the camera and took a picture, and we were like, hey, that's her dad. We didn't even know that. Then we came home and we had supper with my mom. So for our second supper, we had taco salads because it was nice. I could put it in the crock pot, and then we just ate it when we got home. So that's what we did today. Tomorrow, we're going to go to church. Take our lunch with us so we can possibly explore things after church if we choose to, or we can just keep kids awake on our way home so that we can all take a nap together when we get here. Not sure what we're going to do. And that's it, right?
Option 2 sounds good.
Option 2, he wants a nap. So anyway, it's Father's Day, so maybe we'll let him have a nap. Maybe not. Maybe we'll go to the state park because it's free on Father's Day.
I want a pizza.
Mark keeps telling me at 9 o'clock at night he wants a pizza, but then he says, I don't want to order it because I don't want weird people showing up at my door.
I mentioned it at 7:30 tonight.
And I told you to order it.
But you didn't order it for me.
So my husband, if he wants to order pizza, knows how to use the phone. So that's all that's going on here. We will see.
Use my computer.
You could use your computer. You'd not even have to talk to anybody. So that's what's going on here. We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.
Bye.
Bye.